lost, man, ain't no weak ones. Prep for this shit like I'm seasoned. Niggas, bitches, dog, for no reason. Go against you, man, committing treason. So now I'm big about respect. They at your neck if you have a vest. I bust up my collar, I move like a vet. I don't play games, man, for checkers and chess. I just plan ahead and move to step. I'm as solid as bear, I can know again. I checked in the game and I ain't break a sweat. I checked in the game and I ain't break a sweat. I will wake up early, man, cause I ain't had no rock. I would sit on the bus knowing that I was the drop. Cause I know niggas with cars and they still ain't got no drop. Said I know niggas with cars and they still ain't got no drop. Whoa!
I do not own the rights to this music. We have taken control as to bring you this special show.
We will return it to you as soon as you are grooved.
It's been a long time. I couldn't have left you when I was going rhyme and step two. Think of how many big shows just left through. Time's up. I'm sorry I kept you.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This Pops. I just wanted to pop in real quick. Hey, play on words. Pops and Pop Gems. You know, coming up, we got Pop's
Let
perspective.
us tell you what it is, tell you what it ain't. Giving you the real, we'll never do the fake. Life is a gift, but sometimes you need guidance. Pop's perspective, always perfect timing. All that alignment, yeah, he gon' drop them gems. You know he really him. If somebody's confidence, then let you know he hasn't seen.
You don't want to miss. Don't beat me there. Beat me up. Pop's perspective, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again and again and again, it's your boy Pops. We live, we here, we back. I want to apologize because I missed a week. Instagram was tripping. Somebody must have hacked my page or did something, but it wouldn't let me go live. But you know what? You can't keep Pops down. You can't stop what God got for you. Nobody can stop what God got for you. Can't keep a good man down, as they say. So we back in full effect. We live and in living color. I just want to say, first and foremost, shout out to God, who's the head of my life. Without him, none of this would be possible. Definitely want to give a shout out to him, because even when the enemy would try to stop you, God got a way of making things happen. So we're here, we are live, and we thank God for that. Definitely want to give honor where honor is due. And that being said, got a couple housekeeping that we want to do. Let me see here. Give me just a moment. Of course, first and foremost, gotta send a shout out to Exotic Pops. Of course, they are big supporters of Pops Gym, Exotic Pops. You want to go see them, Notorious True, and Lefty _ Global. They're out there in a couple different places. 4119 South Orange Blossom Trail. You got 4400 County Road 19A in Mount Dora. Go see Tashanti and her crew. And then 5311 East Colonial Drive at Pops and Shakes, Exotic Pops. They're all over the place, man. You want to get there and enjoy you some good beverages, Exotic Pops. As always, the B&B crew. Excuse me. The B&B crew. Every Tuesday night they're here live. Shout out to Naybella and to Notorious True, who is always here on Tuesday nights with the Blunts and Bonnets crew. Definitely want to shout them out. The Safe House 3, they're about due to come back. For those of you who don't know, get a clue. If you don't have a clue, catch a clue. The Safe House 3, shout out to B-Mac, to Lefty, Peanut, and of course, you can find them on all the platforms, but definitely on Spotify, Wednesdays at 9. Shout out to Quinny the Pooh in the building. I see you, Yerp. Jay Iris joined. Jay Iris, shout out to him. Of course, Jay Iris is who you heard playing prior to when the show was doing his intro. I'm waiting on him to drop new music. It must be a long fall because it ain't hit yet. But nevertheless, we're gonna get him some new music and get him back on the show. Matter of fact, once he drops that, comes out the studio. So you definitely want to see him on all platforms as JA, the #1 RUS, J Iris. Okay, CTP, Create the Panic, Change your Perspective. You see some of the handiwork. Pops jammed the shirt. I know it's backwards in Instagram, but that's all right. Instagram backwards sometimes. I said it. But Create the Panic, all seasons. Mad Apparel. You want to get out there. You want to have a shirt made, or you just want to go to his website, allseasons.shop. He got some really, really nice stuff. Create the Panic, some swag, as y'all say, drip, as y'all say, whatever it is that you want to call it. But he got some nice pieces. You want to definitely patronize him. Now, I don't just promote my family or my children. I promote whoever has something positive going on. I promote those who are doing productive things. So don't just think it's because of my, he just promote his kids. No, that's not the case. That being said, shout out to Brooke Bishop and Clear Minds. She has a mental health practice. If you got some issues you want to get to the bottom of and you need somebody to talk to, check out clearminds.com. Definitely. And then for you young ladies or you ladies that are looking for a Bible group, you're looking for somewhere you can fellowship, a sisterhood, if you will. We got Girls Love God by Blair Bishop. Girls_Love God. You can check them out, follow them. They got a lot of stuff going on. That's a good participation. Get the girls, the ladies together, if you will. I don't want to say girls. Get the ladies together and get a good support system going. Everybody needs a support system, male, female, boy, girl, young, old. Everybody needs some sort of support system, even if sometimes you're your own support system. And then, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't send a special shout out to all of my gemologists. That's you, and you. Those of you who have joined, those of you that follow faithfully. Now, let me say this, okay, as we get into it. Thank you, first and foremost, for not thinking it robbery to come spend your time, listen to old Pops, as he shares some of the things that life has bestowed upon him, so that you can maybe learn a thing or two and glean from, some of the things that I've went through or some things that I've learned. But that being said, man, it was crazy because, and I wish I could play it for y'all to hear it, but, and transparency, sometimes things get heavy, and, you can hold a feather in your hand and hold your hand out straight long enough. After a while, even that feather will get heavy. You don't believe me? Try it. But I said that to say every now and again, I was thinking about the show, and then Instagram started acting funny. I think somebody hacked my phone. So while I'm in that area, I wanted to remind myself, to whoever caused Pops Gems to miss a show, I pray God bless you, that he just bestowed upon you, because whatever he was trying to do didn't do nothing but take up time and waste time, because we're back. But nevertheless, here we are. It was heavy, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I just need to give it a break. Take you hear about other people doing season finales, and I don't know why. Whoever it was that texted me, I don't know why you would text me during the show. But nevertheless, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so like I was saying, back to my train of thought. Thank you for whoever it was that said that. So I was thinking about kind of, giving it a break, maybe coming back and take a couple weeks off. And I want to send this before I go any further, and then we're going to get into the show. I have a special, I don't even want to say shout out. I just want to say a special thank you, a special heartfelt thank you to my boy, the Riddick, all the way in Argentina. And, you know, sometimes you do stuff in life as an individual and you never know how it affects people. Or sometimes you don't get to see the effect. But the Riddick, in my time of debating whether or not I was going to come back, I was going to take a month off, I was just going to, you know, do whatever, because I was having this trouble with Instagram. And I'm not going to tell you how I fix it, so whoever's listening can try to hack me again. But nevertheless, while I was going through that, I got this message from the Riddick. And mind you, Instagram, and those of you watching, because I'm going to run this on Facebook, I'm going to run this on TikTok, I'm going to run this on YouTube. But when you hear this, mind you, I'm not bragging on me. I'm just telling you what somebody said. So I'm listening, I get this message, and basically the message said, Pops, man, I just wanted to tell you how things are going. You know, things are going really well. I just wanted to call and really thank you because I remember last year this time I wasn't doing so well, and I was listening to your podcast and you started talking to me, and you know, between you and Matthew and Robbie and Crumpin and all of that stuff, things have really taken a turn. He says, I just wanted to thank you for the show. I hope you're doing well. When you hear something like that, to me, that was a sign that said, you know what, they might can stop you for a week, or they might can, you know, halt your show or things like that. Even the show before, when I went with my little brother, shout out to Michael, when I was on there, and I turned off my camera, turned it back on, and then for the whole rest of the show, you didn't see nothing but my logo. And so, you know, things like that, they get discouraging. But when you get a message like I did from my boy, Riddick, love you, man. Keep up the good work. Stay focused. Keep pressing. It's just an encouragement. And so I just wanted to say thank you, especially to him in particular, for sending me that message, as well as all of you. You know, transparency. You know, I put a lot into the show. It may not, I don't know if it appears that way, but I put a lot into the show because I wanted to be productive. I wanted to meet the goal that it has. And the goal that the show has is to help other people make decisions based on information that I provided, or maybe something that can be said that is going to help you. And it's going to help you make better decisions in life. So, you know, again, thank you, Riddick. Thank you, all my gemologists, for those of you who thought it not robbery to tune in and appreciate that. And then, now that being said, and we getting ready to get into the show, I want to do Am I My Brother's Keeper? And, you know, we started this, I say it all the time, somebody has been put on your heart all week, all day, all month, whatever the case may be, and they keep coming across your light, your mind. And so what I want to do is for 10 seconds just send them some positive energy. Sometimes you don't need to know what's going on. Sometimes, you know, it's better you don't know what's going on. But if they keep coming across your mind, even if they're doing good, they can do better. If they're doing bad, they can do better. So it doesn't have to be anything in particular. But definitely want to take 10 seconds out and remember, am I my brother's keeper? You with me? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you. All right. Lady Jazz, I see you in the building. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to my daughter. I say daughter-in-law so y'all don't get it mixed up with my daughter. But, yeah, shout out to Lady Jasmine. For those of you who like coquito, let me say this as we get ready to get into what we're talking about. But for those of you who like coquito, get at Lady_Jazz. They got all different flavors, pistachio, they got all kind of stuff, coconut, cookies and cream, peanut butter. I don't know, I'm just saying. But get at her if you want some coquito. Coquito's always good for you real coquito drinkers, okay? And yep, if you request it, she'll even make Hennessy with some coquito, even though it's not designed like that. But hey, to each his own. Just like some people don't eat grits with sugar, but I do. B. McCall, my man, love him to death like another brother from another mother. But I put sugar on my grits. A lot of people don't do that. Especially you get some down south folk. You almost have to fight somebody. You talk about pass me the sugar. Sugar? Niggas, you crazy? Did I say nigga? Okay. Is you crazy? Man, butter, gravy, sugar? No, man, I can't do sugar. But see, let me explain as to Chi too. She likes sugar and she don't like sugar. She need to get on the show. I need to interview my grandbaby. She need to join the show just to listen. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do growing up in the grandparents. How do you feel about them or something? I don't know. But anyway, shout out to Lefty _ he in the building, literally. But yeah, when I was growing up with sugar, right? So, because when I was growing up, my mother used to make us eat, well, not make us eat, but what we used to eat for cereal was cream of wheat. And cream of wheat is almost like, if you think about it, I mean, if you see it, it almost looked like grits. But with cream of wheat, we would put butter, put milk, little sugar, little cinnamon, and there you go, cream of wheat. So, you know, when I first got introduced to grits, I'm like, hey, cream of wheat. It was like, wait a minute, this is not done all the way, you know, crunchy, you know, textury, more texture than. So, you know, I think nothing of it. Grab the sugar, grab the butter, and somebody seen me putting sugar on them grits. And boy, I thought I almost had a fight. What are you doing? I'm putting sugar on my grits. You don't put sugar on grits. I don't know about you, but I put sugar, this cream of wheat in it, no, it's grits. I was saying, okay, well, maybe that's what you call it. I call it grits. No, it's grits. So anyway, I don't know how I got way over there. But nevertheless, yeah, that's the way that go. So let's move on. Life. We've been dealing with the subject. Life is chess, not checkers. And the reason I say that, and I want to do kind of like a quick little backstory or review, if you will. When you're dealing with checkers, and of course, and let me say this, I know that there's a lot of different analogies, there's a lot of different stuff that y'all can come up with. You know, I'm just giving you what fell into my mind frame. By the way, shout out to Caesar. You see, he got Bob looking. Last time I looked like the Wolfman from Notre Dame or whatever, but a hunchback or something. But Caesar's got me looking little Rico Suave in now. Watch out now. Nay in the building, and shout out to Nay. So in life, when I think about life, when I came up with this chestnut checkers type scenario, I thought about with checkers, and with checkers, it is, yeah, oh yeah, Nay, I'm live on the, didn't I see that? I'll tell you what I did later, but yeah, I'm still got that same sentiment about Instagram. But anyway, so when you're dealing with checkers, everybody knows how to play checkers. Most of y'all know how to play checkers. Checkers is one move. You have a bunch of pieces on the board that are the same color, but really supposed to be on the same team, but really, and then it's one move at a time. The only time you can move more than one move is if you're jumping somebody, and then you got to go sideways to jump somebody. Just listen to the word, sideways to jump somebody. Then the only way you become a king is if you cross over to the other side. Sound like selling out. And then once you become a king, then those people that were around you, those pieces that were around you, look for you to come and save them. So, you know, I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, you know, kind of life is kind of like conditioned. And what I mean by condition is, you grow up, you go to school, they teach you how to raise your hand, they teach you how to follow instructions, they teach you how to have structure and go to class and eat at this time and this time, and then if you do good, you graduate. So they're really conditioning you and I to have a mediocre, I just want to, go through life, go to school, graduate from college, get married, 2.5 kids, a dog, and a job, go on vacation once a year. And that's it. I'm just going through the motions. To me, that's existing. That's not living. Existing is, to me, when you do and these are Pop's thoughts. To me, when you just existing is you just go through the motions. You're content with where you're at, with no desire and no ambition to want to excel. You're complacent. You're stagnant. You're at a level. Marriage, kids, part. That's what I'm saying. That's what society wants you to think, that's part of success. Growing up, having kids and getting married. But see, that's not for everybody either. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're an adult doesn't mean you don't have to get married. And I don't want to get into all that, but I'm just saying what society determines to be a normal, successful life is really boring. Because they want you to be a good steward. A good citizen, pay all your taxes and obey the law and do this. And I'm not saying not to obey your law, not to pay your taxes, but what I'm saying is a conditioned life. It's that they've taught you from so much getting from conception, from the crib, on structure, on how they think things should be, on things how they feel life should go, and what determines success in public's viewpoint. But to me, that's checkers. That's just going till you can cross over, get your kingship, come back, maybe jump a couple little pieces on the way, and look out for here and there, and that's it. There's no real challenge or strategy, if you will. Work hard, do this, come back, do that, end of story. But chess now. Chess, you say. Chess is a little different. Chess is not just one move. Chess is an orchestration of the moves that you have to ascertain what you want and protect your kingship at the same time. You can look at it two ways, and I come from two different viewpoints. I come from one viewpoint of the pieces in chess that surround you can be considered either people or attributes. And what I mean by attributes, let me say to start there first, is in chess there's the pawn, there's the knight, also known as the rook, there's the horse, there's the pawn, there's the castle or the rook, then there's the knight, which is the horse, then there's the bishop, then there's the queen, then there's the king. So there's 6 pieces. It's 6 pieces. But each piece has a different position that they play. Everybody's piece is to protect the king. Let me say that again. Every position, every piece in chess was designed to protect the king. However, they also have a dual responsibility to attack the enemy. And it is the king's objection, it's the king's duty to assign the pieces in such a strategic way that it will overtake the enemy. Now, this is different from checkers. Because checkers, you just want to get to the other side and become a king. In chess, you starting out as a king. I see you. You starting out as a king. And as you're starting out as a king, first and foremost in life, we talked about the pawn, and then I think we talked about the knight, is as far as I got. But in chess, in order for you, a lot of people don't want to learn chess because they feel it's too difficult because the pieces are so difficult, they move in different ways. The pawn can move one move at a time forward. It can only take moves left or right, diagonal, but it can only move one piece at a time. But its design is the front line to go out there and start setting the plan for the rest of the pieces to come into play. So what does that mean? That means that when you go to accomplish something in life, you have to first and foremost, you got to do it almost like they do in the movies. In Hollywood, to my knowledge, unless I'm mistaken, they create movies with the last scene first, and then everything else builds up to it. You think Star Wars 6 was the last movie written? And I'm just throwing a number out there. No. They said, okay, in order for us to start a sequel, we have to go to the end and say, okay, well, if this is going to be how this ends, we got to go all the way back. Case in point, and I know we deal with movies, I'm just dealing with the director's mental approach. I'm not dealing with the movies because movies are drawn, are scripted, which means movies are controlled more so than real life. But in Hollywood, they make the last scene first. So look about, you ever seen a movie and it was an exciting movie, and then part 2 goes back and it shows the origin of how that part 1 came to pass? Because they're going backwards. So they're really giving you the end first, and then they're building everything up. You ever seen a TV show that says, a matter of fact, Biggie did it when they did Biggie's movie, and he got shot, then they took him all the way back to the beginning. So when you're dealing with life, you have to see where you want to be first. Walk with me now. I'm going somewhere. I ain't got no notes, so I'm trying to maintain my train of thought. But you have to see where you want to be at first. And what I mean by that is you have to have a plan. Life is just like chess. It's very strategic. And I'm going to say this now before I forget it, but I know that it seems so meticulous and so overbearing and so overwhelming and just too much work to constantly be on top of your money, constantly be on top of your repairs, constantly be on top of your house, constantly be on top of your studies, constantly be on top of your wardrobe, constantly be on top of your job, constantly be on top of all these things. And sometimes you just want to be like, man, I don't want to do nothing, I just want to forget life. But in order for you to maximize your life, you can't go through with a checkers mentality. You can't go through with just a jump over here or there and consider that a great victory, because remember, what's the end result? You're going into another person's territory and waiting for them to king you. But in checkers, you got to remember first and foremost who you are. You and I are kings and queens. In us is the innate ability to do whatever we put our mind to do. You've heard the phrase, whatever you put your mind to do. And the reason they say that is because when you put your mind to something, you start strategizing, you start plotting, you start scheming, you start drawing out a plan on how you're going to get from point A to point B. You start thinking about breakfast, you're going to take the eggs out. You're going to take the sausage out. You're going to take the bread and everything else that goes with it out. You're going to get it in position. And then you're going to start thinking, okay, well, I want everything to come up at the same time. So in cooking, you learn that you cook whatever is going to take the longest first. So then everything will come up together. Well, life is the same thing. You challenge and you strategize how to get to your goal. But in order to do that, you got to do like the movies and see your goal first. That way you're not just pissing in the wind, if I could say it that way. So you have to have a course. You have to have a goal. You have to have an object in front of you that is guiding you. It's kind of like a carrot in front of a horse. And sometimes in life, You have to put on binders. The reason they put the carrot in front of the horse, so that the horse will focus on the carrot and go straight forward. Sometimes we need something dangling in front of us, because if not, we'll be all over the place. And some of us need binders on because we lose sight of the carrot and get distracted by other stuff. That's no good. And in the meantime, we're pulling a plow. So when we get distracted, the line comes out crooked. There's so many ripple effects to every move that you make that if you want to, and I'm just talking to people that want to maximize their life. If you don't want to maximize your life, if you don't want to live the best life that you can ever live, then don't follow these applications. Go through life like checkers. Put up with whatever. Wait on payday. Don't strategize on how to get more money legally. Let me throw that in there. Don't strategize on how to, you want to save something. My brother was on the show. We was talking about, you want to save money. Well, I was talking to a young lady today, and if you want to save money, it's not that you have to make extra money. Sometimes you just got to look at your budget. Stop eating at Starbucks every day. Them 3 coffees that you buy at Starbucks really is about $30 a day. All right, so I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to say 20. But 20 times 5 is 100. 100 times 4 is 400. 400 times 12, you spending $4,800 a year in coffee. So you cut down to 2 a day. Cut down to 1 a day. And take that extra money and put it towards your goal. Now you don't need extra money. You got extra money. You got the money. The money's in your pocket. The only problem is you're spending it on the wrong things. We have to prioritize. We have to prioritize how we spend the resources that we have. If you drink it, what they used to say, you eat all your food now, you ain't gonna have nothing for later. You eat all the candy now, you ain't gonna have nothing for the movie. Y'all remember them words? Eat up your snacks now, you ain't gonna have nothing for later. Well, if you do not strategize your life to ascertain those things that you really want, you're just going through the motions. And so, if you look at your budget, the money's really there. You don't have to go out and get another job. Look at your overhead. I teach my kids and everybody I know. I have what I call an overhead budget, and I take every bill that I owe, when it's due, and how I'm going to pay it as far as what method, and I itemize it every month. And that way, I don't ever, if I say, on the 15th, I got this coming up. So I strategize to make sure that that's covered on the 15th. Some people say it's OCD, some people say it's meticulous, but I ain't got no late notices. I ain't got to worry about getting nothing turned off, because I allotted a certain structure in that, and I made that a precedence. And so in that budget, I said, okay, light, rent, auto, phone, play money, savings money. See, there's nothing wrong with treating yourself. As a matter of fact, you should treat yourself. After all, you're the one getting up going to work. You're the one sweating. You're the one putting up with them folk. You're the one tired. You're the one doing extra. And you giving all your money away to somebody else. And I'm not saying somebody else relationship-wise. I'm saying you should be able to see the fruit of your labor first and foremost. A good cook tastes his food before he serves it. And I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is set it within, even if it's something minute, even if it's take yourself to lunch. You have to reward yourself as you go through life, because if not, what's going to happen is you're going to feel like you're working for nothing. That you just driving. And now if you that pressed and you doing stuff and you see your money and I ain't going out to eat because we trying to get this house or this car, then that's different, because you're going towards the goal. But that don't mean you can't treat yourself. Set a budget for yourself. And if you don't use it, don't do like we used to do as a kid. You gave you $1, you was itching to spend that $1. Where we go? Excuse me. You wanted them to take you somewhere to spend $1. Don't do that. If you set your budget aside and you don't use it, now you got twice as much the next time it comes around. statistics teach us, and I'm going somewhere with all this chess and this life structure, but statistics teach us that in order to be comfortable, you need to have 6 times your overall living expense. Now, it's not just rent, gas, light, cell phone, insurance. That's movies, that's food. As much, you just need to write down everything you spend in a month on whatever it is. And then 6 times that is supposed to be saved. That way, God forbid something happens, you got 6 months to continue living at the same lifestyle before you deplete your funds. Some people ain't got 6 cents. Some people ain't got $6. Because you can't blame it on, oh, this was due, that was due, and every time I turn around, I got to pay this, I got to pay that. No. You need to structure and say, okay, what is it that I'm going to pay? Yeah, you're going to have some unexpected stuff. Yeah, you might get a flat tire. Yeah, you might need to do this or that. Europe, I see your pins. Yeah, those things might happen, but you have a cushion prepared for that. Not you taking from Peter to pay Paul. So how does that affect me in life and Pops, and how does that affect what you're talking about, life is chess, not checkers? Well, it's the same concept in preparing yourself for any aspect of your life. Sit down, see your goal, see your end goal. Now, how do the pieces come into play? No, I'll do it from this way. Know who you have in your circle. Know who you have around you. Remember what I told you when we first started? That the pieces of the chess, and I don't know neither one of them, nigga, you so retarded. Dang, Nate. Remember I told you that the pieces, all the pieces, main assignment was to protect the king and attack the enemy. Protect the king and attack the enemy. And too many times we surround ourselves with people that are not protecting our kingship. And what I mean by kingship, well, fill in the blanks. If somebody can talk about you in front of somebody you know and they don't say nothing, if somebody can sit and talk to you about somebody else, what do you think they're going to say when you walk away? If somebody just out with their own agenda, gimme, have no intentions of who you are, has no respect for your time, have no respect for your person, has no respect for anything about you, do you want them on your team? Because I don't care what your mouth say, we can make our mouths say anything, but actions speak louder than words. You know who's really down for you. You ain't got to say it. It don't need to be said, because when the rubber meets the road, to use that cliche, when you really, really need somebody, you'll know. It's not the one that's in you, around you in the light. It's the one that's holding your hand in the dark. You can see the ones in the light. It's in the dark that you need that reinforcement, if you will. Not that we're afraid of the dark, but it always feels better when you got somebody there with you, fighting with you. So when it comes to the people that you have around you, not only do they need to, first and foremost, they need to have your best interests at heart. No hidden agendas, no underlying motives. No, I'm going to hang out with him because he's the plug. No, I'm going to hang out with her because she got to connect to J.C. Penney's or Neiman Marcus, whatever it is. No, he got that fat ride, so I'm gonna look cute. I'm going to let him. No. Purpose. The people in your life have to be working conducively to serve a purpose. You're in their life for a purpose. And that purpose has to help you. And I know this sounds rough, because sometimes it's family you got to cut off. But if they're not fulfilling your purpose, then you can love them from a distance. I didn't say stop loving them. I said stop letting them be on the board representing you and making moves for you. Come on, somebody. everybody. You got people in your life that don't have your best interest at heart making moves for you. How? Because association brings on assimilation. And sometimes people will judge you by the people you hang around. I'm going to let that sink in. Like Ben Gay. It'll heat up in a moment. So you got to watch people. Now, that's why in chess, you have to know what your pieces can and cannot do. So that you don't put them in a situation where they cannot properly assist you to get where you're going. It don't make no sense to jump out there with the pawn with no backup. Everything is strategic. And what I mean by that, say, okay, well, when I do this, after I do this, I'm going to do that. And then when I do that, I'm going to do this. But in doing that, you got to be prepared for when you move step A, if step B is not ready, you got to have another plan. That's just how it is in life. You can't put, like they say, all your eggs in one basket. You say, well, I'm going to apply for this job, but I'm not going to wait on them. I'm going to apply for this, and this. Because if that one don't come through, then I got these to fall back on, or this is my plan B. But too many times we sit and we put everything in one. It's just like in relationships. Okay? You can't put everything dependent on one person, because now you have a dependency relationship, not an independent relationship. An independent relationship is two people deciding to come together to better themselves. That's a independent relationship. But a dependent relationship is when I'm just looking at you for anything and everything. I'm not bringing nothing to the table. I'm not contributing nothing. That's you dependent on me. I'm a big boy. I got enough trouble carrying my own stuff. I don't need to carry no dead weight. So it's very important that you know your pieces and know what your pieces can do. And if your pieces are not working in your overall purpose, then maybe you need to see how much time. Now let me say this about time, and we're moving along here. If you have more than one plan, do you really believe and have faith in your original plan? I wouldn't say more than one plan in that regard. I see what you're saying about that. What I'm saying is, when you have the plan, don't just plan it with, if this don't work, I can always do that type scenario. You know what I'm saying? Plan it with a backup in case the first plan doesn't meet your expectations or doesn't come out the way you thought it was. Because, again, you're strategizing. You're seeing your end goal. But it's just like when you leave house in the morning. And it starts raining and you're not prepared. And then you got to change your plans and go get an umbrella or something to that nature. Just what I mean by just be prepared to make a counter move in case things don't, the first attack don't go all the way. Say, okay, well, if that don't work, I could do that, but I'm still going to the same objective. I see you, Caesars. So it's just like with like I was saying with time. With time, none of us control time. None of us. We don't know how much time we have. Everybody has an expiration date, but we don't know when it is. I just buried my little brother. Rest in peace, Steve. I never thought I would bury him. It was his time. And so that being said, if you want to maximize the time that you have, you don't have to do this. I'm just saying, if you want to maximize your time, you got to be strategic and set goals for what you want to do. It's just like I learned when you put a puzzle together. My daddy taught me you do the outside first. You got your frame, your foundation. Then you build the pieces in little by little. And you might pick up a piece and it don't fit, and you just got to pick up another piece. But that don't mean that you stop doing the puzzle. Your overall goal is to complete the puzzle. So sometimes you have to put a piece down and pick up another piece to get where you're going. So that's what I mean by making a change. Not that your original plan is not, you're going to alter that. You're just going to, you finish that puzzle too. Not that you're going to abandon the puzzle. You're just going to come at it in a different aspect. So when it deals with life and it deals with time, I came up with this analogy. It's just like what if somebody put you, what if somebody, hold on. What if somebody put you in like a cylinder, like a square? You went in there and they said, okay, we're going to turn on the air, and there's nothing but $100 bills floating around in here. So when we turn on the air, you have until we turn off the air to grab as much money as you can. I could see some of y'all thinking now, you're going to be stuffing it in your shirt. You're going to be trying to think of how you can maximize the amount of time you got to get the most money. Because what? You don't know when they're going to cut that air off. Would you sit down when they turn that air on and let the money fly around you? Well, that's what some of us do when we don't live to our fullest potential and maximize our lives. We're sitting in a land of opportunity because of what we possess within ourselves. But we've allowed other people to tell us that we can't grab no money. You're not going to get nothing. And we take that for gospel, and we allow people that surround us, because most times it's the people that surround us that are naysayers. Not nay as in you, nay, Bella. I'm saying naysayers. They're doubters. They're obstacle builders. I mean, I'm the type of person, when you tell me I can't do it, it drives me harder. And there's some people like that in life. But there's some people that, you know, their whole life is, or their life is contingent upon what some people say, the advice that some people give them. And that's why you got to be careful what comes out your mouth, especially when you're speaking in somebody else's life, because quiet is kept. You're going to be held accountable for that. You got to answer for that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like you driving down the road and GPS tells you turn left and you go into a brick wall. You're going to be mad at GPS, right? Because it told you to go the wrong way. Well, you're the GPS in some people's lives. Are you telling them to go the wrong way? And sometimes you ain't got to say a word, because sometimes it's muted. You don't hear GPS. You just see how the thing is moving and how you're supposed to go. Neighbor, yes, when the air goes off, kindly pick up whatever money is on the floor. Yeah, but you can't pick it up. You got to get it out the air. You so crazy. You can't do that. Stop cheating. You can't. You got to get it while it's in the air. You can't pick it up off of the floor. But you know what? Look at that. And let me make an example of that in a funny, but it's a true way. She said work smarter, not harder. So what did she do? She strategized. She came up with a plan. And she said, I'm going to wait. While everybody's frantic and trying to grab the money out the air, I'll just wait. And when the air stops and all the money falls to the ground, I'll pick it up. That was a strategy. You seen yourself. You prepared yourself. And now, homie, different strokes with different folks. Well, in that thing, the rules were you have to catch it in the air. So I understand what you're saying. But the point I'm trying to make is that we as people sometimes do not utilize all the arsenal that we have within us. We don't utilize all the help that we have around us. And sometimes we use the wrong pieces for the wrong moves. Chess is an active, reactive, active, not a reactive, active. And what I mean by that is, in life, you should be active and then react. That means you're in control because you're making the initial move. When you react means that you're responding to an action that was done before you. You can't let life determine your outcome to that extent. And I know that that's a big saying because we don't know what life deals with us, but we know how to deal with life. And the more knowledge you soak up on whatever it is that you're trying to go through is really just a strategic plan on how to accomplish the victory in what you set your mind to. And when you can realize what arsenal you have in you, what weapons you can use, like I would be stupid to try to go get a contract singing because I know that's not my forte. I cannot sing. So why would I waste time knowing I don't have that talent? But I got the gift of gab. I could talk. So then I would try to be lucrative and make the money come from the gift of being able to talk, because one, I do that naturally. Two, it's easier for me to do. Three, it's more effective in what I'm trying to accomplish. They want somebody that can talk. They're not looking for a singer. I'm not a singer. So too many times we try to do things that we really is really not for us. And that just comes from a lack of self-awareness. And this is for another show, but I'm going to drop this. You have to be careful of what you allow to come into your life. I've said this before. It's not the water outside, it's the water inside that sinks the ship. And I had a crazy analogy. You know, a lot of us are like baskets. And if we don't put in a lining, people will just dump on us. You know, it's unfortunate that those that are strong, those that are not as strong, I don't want to say the weak, those that are not as strong gravitate. You ever have people say, you just look like somebody I could talk to, and really got your own stuff going on, but for whatever reason they feel that they could talk to you. Well, you have to be careful on how they dump on you, if I could say it that way. You have to be careful on the information that you allow to come in, because if you don't have a lining where you could, once they give you that information, you could bag it up and send it to where it needs to go, then it's going to taint everything. You can't allow for people to bring so much negativity into your life that it weighs you down. It is annoying. It is very annoying, because here you're trying to keep your head above water. You done went down for the third time. You just learned how to tread water yesterday, and they pulling at both your feet. And they can swim, but they're lazy, so they want to pull on you. And too many times in life, we go through life allowing people to pull on us and keep us from reaching. We may still get there, but it's going to take longer because we're carrying dead weight. And the reason we're carrying dead weight is because sometimes we're scared to tell people no. We're scared to tell people the truth. We're scared to realize what position they're playing in our lives, and are they conducive to where we're going. And if they're not conducive, I don't need that piece on my board. You're the captain of your own ship. It's not anyone's fault what happens to you if you allow it to happen. And I know accidents happen. I'm not talking about that. Think outside the box. I'm saying on the norm. If you broke, it's because you settled for broke. Because there's so many opportunities if you put your mind to it. And if you don't know, go somewhere where you can know. How many success stories have you heard? I used to sleep in my car. Well, you got tired. They got tired of sleeping in their car. But what I'm saying, and I'm going to get back to this, and I'm closing because we're about out of time. When it deals to chess, and I wanted to get more into the pieces, but when it comes to dealing with chess, know your power. Know your limitations. Know yourself. And then know how you can move. I'll say this about one of the pieces. It's called, it's the one with the horse, for those of you that don't know. But, I want to say it right. Hold on. I want to say it right. Bear with me. Okay. Okay. The rook is what I'm saying. The rook. And the rook is the one that looks like a castle. Okay. But the rook symbolizes strength, stability, and protection. It represents a powerful war chariot in the game's ancient origins and moves in straight lines. So, how you moving? How you moving? How do you, people treat you how you present yourself. People treat you how you treat yourself. And for those that don't, and you don't nip it in the bud, then you allow that disrespect, because if it's not respect, it's disrespect, and you accept how they treat you. But you have the power to not allow that to happen. And so, use what you have, how you move. Do you think about the words that you're going to say before you say them? And the impact it's going to have? Do you think about, okay, so if I lost my job tomorrow, what am I going to do? Like I said in the beginning of the show, when it comes to life, the reason I say life is chess, not checkers, is because you got to constantly keep your head on a swivel. You have to constantly be knowing what you can and cannot do. You have to constantly be prepared for your next 3 to 5 moves. And then, in closing, I'll say this. You have to know your opponent, or you have to watch your opponent. Because your opponent is going to teach you how to avoid them. Patterns. A good friend of mine always told me patterns. Watch people. They have patterns. And so for those that don't mean you any good, they got patterns. You ever seen somebody that come around, oh Lord, here they come. Because you already know what they want. They got a pattern. And the way you know is by they tell their pattern. Or whenever they only call me when they want something. And you're looking at your phone. They have patterns. But you ain't got to answer the phone. They keep coming because you keep answering. And you keep allowing them to come in to your circle. You keep allowing that water to come into the ship. So you can't get mad at the people. You have to know your people, know those that are around you. Are they sinking you or are they swimming with you, so to speak? Are your pieces around you helping you get, are they defending you when you're not around? Are they trying to move in are they calling you up and say, hey, listen, I know we was watching BMF, but I got a tip on the stock market, or hey, this, that, and the third. Are they doing things to advance your life? Takers and givers. If you're not giving me anything, you're taking something. And you don't have to give me anything monetarily or tangible. When you spend time with somebody, when you give somebody your time, that's the most valuable resource that you could ever give somebody. And that being said, and I'm out of here until next week, don't waste people's time. Say what you're going to say, mean what you're going to say, do what you're going to do, but don't waste people's time. Time is too precious, and people will not respect you when you waste their time. This your boy Pops. It's been a blast. I'm glad to be back. We're going to come back next week. We'll talk about some things. Before I go, again, shout out to Exotic Pops, Lefty and True. Shout out to the B&B crew. Nate, thank you so much for coming in. B Mitch, I call him Mitch. Thank you so much for coming in. For those of you who joined, if you missed it, you can always go to YouTube at Pops Gems and see the whole show. At TikTok, I'm on TikTok as well. We're going to continue to stay on Instagram until, I absolutely cannot. But, just remember this in life. Your life is what you make it. And if you don't like it, change it. You have the power. It's not going to be easy. Nothing that is ever worth doing is easy. You got to put in some work. But at the end of the day, you'll be the benefactor. You'll reap what you sow. Crops don't grow overnight. You got to till the ground. You got to nurture it. You got to take care of it. And you got to keep insects and bugs away. And you got to make sure that, you don't get no pesticides. There's a lot to do with life. You got to protect your life to get it to where you want to be. And then enjoy it every day. Because if you plan a goal every day and you hit that goal and you celebrate it, then you're maximizing your life. What are your goals? What makes you happy? What makes you content? What makes you lay down at night and say, today was a good day? This your boy Pops. Till next week. Thank you. Go meet me there. Beat me there. We'll see you next Monday. Peace. joke talking a lot, boy, when you ain't got no guests.
Yes, sir.
But it was a good show.
Yeah.